Hi everyone, this is Marine. Thank you so much for stopping by. I am back today with a pull and slide interactive card. Not this one, I made this one for the release week, and I just wanted to show it to you in case you didn't see it. The card looks like any other of my cards, busy and colorful as always, but when you pull the tab, the greeting pops at the top, and a treasure chest is revealed on the lower part. And if you saw Kaylee's intro video, you already know that this new die set is super easy to use. So let's put the pirates away. Today's card is a Father's Day pull and slide card featuring the brick wall from Simply Celebrate Hangouts, the All-Star stamp set, and as you can see, we have the mouse family back. So to make this card, we are going to use the pull and slide die set, the Oliver's stitched ABCs to make the word dad, the largest stitched rectangle stackable die, the largest outside-in stitched rectangle stackable die, and the largest small stitched rectangle stackable die. Next, we have the stamp sets with Simply Celebrate Hangouts for the brick wall, All-Star for the cup, basketball hoop, ball, star, and greetings. We have the mice from Simply Celebrate Critters, and more mice from Really High Five, Dandy Day and Dandy Day Flip Flop, Bubbles of Joy, Scooting By, and You Autumn Know. We have the flowers from the Backyard Bird Feeder add-on, the banner from Tweet Cart, and the tiny heart from the Sentiment add-on, the grass from the Kangarific add-on, the small flag from Coaster Critters, the tiny black star from Totally Awesome, and finally, 2 speech bubbles and sentiments from all the speech bubbles. I am going to start with the pull and slide pieces. On the left, I have the main panel. I haven't scored any lines yet, and I am keeping everything flat with washi tape at the back to make the inking process easier. On the right, I have the pull tab panel, and I am going to start with the main panel. I started off by covering the stitching details on the 4 edges. And here I hope that you can see the slim rectangle at the bottom of the panel. I am going to put a piece of washi tape right below the score line, and another one to cover the whole bottom section. And I am going to work on that large upper section. I am going to turn it into a blue brick wall. So first, I am going to cover the piece of paper with tumbled glass oxide ink. This will make a nice and even base for my brick wall. I placed my brick stencil on top of my panel with more washi tape to secure it really well. And I am going to cover that section with broken china oxide ink. Now let's remove the stencil and see how it looks. I think it looks amazing and it could stay just like this. But you know that I like to add plenty of textures to my oxide ink backgrounds. And I am going to splatter water droplets all over the bricks, and I am going to dry the paper with a paper towel. Next, I am going to smoosh my broken china oxide ink pad on my glass surface, add a little bit of water, and then use my slim brush to add blue splatters to the bricks. I am going to remove the 2 pieces of washi tape at the bottom. I put them both over the brick wall to protect it. And I am going to create a grass border on that small section using Maudlin and a rustic wilderness oxide inks. And as always, I'm gonna go back and forth several times with both of my blending tools to blend the colors nicely. Now just a bit of texture. I mixed some Rustic Wilderness Oxide ink with water, and I am using my slim brush again to add details to the grass border. So I removed the pieces of washi tape and it looks very pretty already. But I almost never finish a background without adding white splatters. So I mixed some Copic Opaque white ink with water and I am adding white splatters all over my panel. This will bring contrast and brightness. So now that the main panel is done, we can peel the washi tape of the edges, and I love how it frames the scenes so beautifully and how it gives more interest to the background. And now we can move on to the pull tab panel, and just like the main panel, I covered the stitching edges with washi tape. And since my color palette for this card is aqua, green and some yellow accents, I chose green for the panel and for the inside panel as well. So I am first covering my piece of paper with Shabby Shutters Oxide ink. And then I am going to use the Lots of Stars background stencils with Modlon Oxide ink to create a bright and cheerful starry background. And we are done with the inking. Of course, I have to add more details on this panel, starting with water droplets that I am going to dry with my paper towel. Next, I am mixing some Rustic Wilderness Oxide ink with water, and I am going to add green splatters to my panel. And this time, instead of the white splatters, I am going to add gold accents using my fossilized amber distress spritz. I am just spraying some of it on my glass surface, a couple of water droplets, and I am adding a bunch of shimmery dots to my panel. So our pull tab panel is done. One more time, let's peel the washi tape of the edges of our piece of paper and set it aside to dry. And now we need to create a third panel, the one that we will see in the bottom section when we pull the tab. This panel needs to be the same size as the main panel, which is 4 3/4 by 3.5 inches. And I am going to create the exact same starry background as the one we just did. And with the magic of the editing, that third panel is already done with the same colors and the same details. So now it is time to assemble our pull and slide panel, and we are going to start by folding the score lines on the main panel. There are 3 score lines, and the one in the middle, we want to fold it like a mountain. And I like to use my bone folder to press really well on those folds. The slim rectangle at the bottom, we want to fold it in the opposite way, just like so. And same for the score line at the top. Here you can see it better. We want our main panel to be just like that. Now I am going to add double-sided tape to the back of the slim rectangle. I am going to remove the backing paper, place the green panel behind the blue panel, and I am making sure that both the notch and the tab are lined up and centered. And I am going to flat down the main panel and firmly press on the slim rectangle to connect both panels. And it's already starting to take shape. Now we need to add the third panel behind all this. And for this part, I like to have dimension, so I am going to use 2 mm foam strips. At the back of the main panel, I am going to add foam strips on each side and at the bottom as well, but not at the top. And while I am adding the foam strips, I am making sure to put it on the very edges to stay away from the pull tab panel. Now we can peel the backing papers of the foam strips, all of them, and I am going to stick my third panel to the foam. And now our pull and slide interactive panel is complete. So this looks super empty, we need cute images. And I am going to start with the brick wall from Simply Celebrate Hangouts. To add variation, I am going to color the bricks in 2 different shades of grey. We will have browns for the mice and the aqua green yellow color palette to make the scene happy and bright. And as always, I am using my Ohuhu markers and my graphite brush markers to color everything. And it's time to fill the card with our cute images. I am going to start with the brick wall. We don't want it to interfere with the pull and slide mechanism, so I am going to stick it just above the slim rectangle, and I am going to add foam squares only to the part that moves. Next, I will add the mice on top of the wall using the same technique. Whole foam squares on the 3 mice in the middle, and tiny pieces on the ones on each end. For the basketball hoop, I want it to pop when I pull the tab, so I am going to add a half of foam squares at the bottom and stick it right above the mice. Next, I am going to stick all the other images using 1 mm foam squares mostly, and always checking and making sure that nothing interferes with the pull and slide mechanism. On the pull tab panel, I stamped "I'm your biggest fan" from All Star, and I attached a banner. I also cut letters in aqua to make the word Dad, and the same letters again in white. I attached those white letters behind the aqua letters to get a nice and subtle white border, and I am using liquid glue to stick those letters. Now let's attach the remaining images on the hidden bottom section. See how I am keeping everything in place with washi tape, and especially the pull tab panel? Well, this way I know exactly how much room I have on this hidden bottom section. I am sticking the cup first, and I am using 1 mm foam squares to do this. Using a little bit of dimension on this hidden bottom section will block the moving panel. I am not sure if I sound clear, but you will see what I mean when I show the card in detail at the end of the video. So I've been adding speech bubbles on most of my cards since all the speech bubbles was released. I think they add extra cuteness with the tiny sentiments. I've already added one with a heart on the left side, and I will add another one on the opposite side. And for the ones on the upper part of the card, I want them to pop at the same time as the mice. So I am using slim pieces of acetate and 3 mm glue dots to do this. I am sticking a bubble on one end of the acetate strip and then sticking the other end of the strip at the back of the mouse. So there are still a few steps and the card will be done. I cut the decorative tab out of textured canvas aqua cardstock and algae cardstock. I am sticking the main piece first at the top of the pull tab panel, and then the tiny arrow using liquid glue and my pickup tool to grab it more easily. So now I am going to layer those 3 panels on top of each other, then nicely coordinate with the colors on the card. I added foam tape at the back of my pull and slide panel, and I am going to center it and attach it to my card base to finally call our pull and slide interactive card all done. So here is a close-up look at this super cute and fun card. A busy little scene, but still quite simple. And when you pull the tab, you get a lovely message and an extra scene hidden behind the main panel. And see, because I used 1 mm foam squares to stick the cup, I can tuck the slim rectangle against it, and the 3D scene stays all popped up. I hope that this card has inspired you, whether you decide to make it interactive or not. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a very nice day and see you next time. Bye!